My fellow Africans, there is a lot that we can learn from this situation right here. The situation I'm talking about is the feud between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. There's a back and forth between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, the billionaire and the president of the most powerful nation in the world. They are feuding and they're fighting over a bill. Okay, I believe it's called the One Big Beautiful Bill. That's what Trump calls it. And Elon Musk is not happy about that bill. So there was a back and forth. Now we got to the point where Trump is telling Elon Musk, I think it's about time you go back to Africa. Oh my goodness. Now imagine if Elon Musk was a black South African. Anyways, that's a different story. But envision this, okay? Elon Musk, one of the wealthiest men in the world, was belittling South Africa, where he comes from, where his family comes from. He's white South African. And there's a lot of history behind that too, how his family were in the apartheid times and even the dad marrying, I believe, his stepchild. There's a weird story behind that, but that's not what we're here to talk about. But it kind of tells you why Elon Musk turned out the way he turned out. Richness and wealth aside, okay, how he is, how he functions, how he talks, and how he sees South Africa as well. Like, if you remember, he was so vocal about what's happening to white South Africans in South Africa, and he was pushing then, to his friend, now his enemy, Trump. He was telling him how there's like a genocide and white people are being unalived, and he needs to save them. We need to save my people in South Africa, when we all know in South Africa, white people are the ones running South Africa. The minority is running South Africa, right? Minority running the majority. And we also know the wealth gap between the white South Africans and black South Africans, which is very, 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 very sad. But then, no, not according to Elon Musk. He wanted to change the narrative. So he was hating on South Africa and the government. And mostly he was hating on the government because there was a row between them. He wanted to bring his business there, but then there are rules that he needed to follow. He didn't want to follow that. It had capitalism twist to it as well, right? Because he wanted to make money. So because of that reason, Trump invited white South Africans to America. He's like, oh, my people are getting hurt, so we'll have this process for you. It's going to be swift, even though there's real genocide happening somewhere in DR Congo, right? If he really wanted to help, there's Sudan, there's so many countries that he could have welcomed, but then I guess they're the wrong skin color. Pow! So he wanted to support the South Africans. And I believe after he opened up that asylum, 49 people went. Imagine if there was a real crisis. Do you think it's only 49 people that are going to travel to the US? There's your answer. But it doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter to these people. So 49 of them traveled to the US, and there was a whole plan. They were received by high officials and they were told, you're welcome to our country, America, the land of the free, whatever. Watch this clip.
White South Africans arriving as refugees at Dulles Airport outside Washington today on a plane chartered by the State Department, a process that usually takes years, greeted by a top-ranking U.S. diplomat.
Welcome. Welcome to the United States of America.
And this from President Trump.
It's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about, but it's a terrible thing that's taking place, and farmers are being killed. They happen to be white, but whether they're white or black makes no difference to me.
The president signed an executive order in February calling them victims of unjust racial discrimination from the country's black majority, something the South African government vigorously denies. While today the administration also canceled temporary refugee status for as many as 14,000 Afghans already in the U.S., including many who served alongside the U.S. in the war. All face persecution from the Taliban if they are forced to go back. Veterans groups reacting.
How do American veterans of the war in Afghanistan feel about the way their Afghan interpreters and allies are being treated?
We're pissed off. This is absolutely insane that we would treat people this way.
The welcome for white South Africans also in sharp contrast to another executive order the president signed the day he took office, suspending new refugee admissions for everyone else, including black Sudanese escaping genocide and Latin Americans fleeing violent gangs.
As you saw, so they were welcomed like that because of Elon Musk's initiative, mostly, for the most part, right? There were even white South Africans standing up against this narrative and saying, that's not true. Why are you lying, if you remember? So, but it didn't matter. But now that their friendship is dwindling and there's a feud between them, Trump is telling him, and I quote, Elon Musk probably have to close up shop and head back home. End quote. This is what Trump said. And he also told him, I think it's time to unleash Dodge on him. The same organization that they came up with to reduce funding and to see how certain organizations are using their money. Now he wants to use the same thing against them, and that tells you a lot. And as Africans, the reason why I said we need to learn a lesson from this is that even though Elon Musk was his friend, Elon Musk was part of the campaign when Donald Trump was running, and even though up until a few months ago they were cool and they were doing all these things together, when there's feud, the first thing Donald Trump said was go back to your country, go back to South Africa. So that's an important lesson, at least to me, because it doesn't matter how wealthy you are. It doesn't matter how close you think you are to these people, to these politicians, to these leaders. When it comes down to it, you're not from there. Okay, when it comes down to picking a side, they'll always pick theirs and you're gonna be deported swiftly. So whatever you do, when you accumulate your wealth, you've gone to these Western countries or anywhere in the world and you've worked hard and you built your business from the ground up, always remember you had a place back home. Invest back home. Make sure that you transfer skill to the people that you left back home. They are the future of that country, right? Invest in the youth, invest in your family and your friends and your society. Make sure that whatever money you get, yes, I'm not saying everyone should come back, but be smart about it. Always have a plan B, C, D. And always remember, to these people, you're always going to be a foreigner. So make sure that you have your place set up back home, not only for yourself, but for the next generation and the people that come after you. Let's not be selfish, right? Let's also be selfless and see how we can help our people, right? So anyways, that's what I thought of when I saw this feud. I'm like, yep, sounds about right. Sounds about right. That is what's gonna happen to you when you sell out your people. Elon Musk literally thought he's untouchable. He didn't care about South Africa and South Africans. He was smearing the name of South Africa in the name of like, this is what's happening to us and we need help, though we all know that's not the case. So now he's getting the test of his own medicine. Anyways, fam, let me know down below what your thoughts are about this. I am Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed. Bye.